Welcome to SG Times Explainer. I am Sakshi from the Faculty of Mass Communication and Media Technology. Today we will discuss what's happening at the International Criminal Court and what does the International Criminal Court's arrest order for Russian President Vladimir Putin implies. The International Criminal Court (ICC) is a judicial entity founded in 2002 under the Rome Statute, headquartered in The Hague, Netherlands. The ICC is responsible for prosecuting persons for international crimes such as genocide, crimes against humanity and war crimes. It is a permanent entity with jurisdiction over crimes committed after July 1, 2002 and only if people from ICC member nations committed the crimes or if the matter is referred to the court by the UN Security Council. The International Criminal Court issued an arrest order for President Vladimir Putin and a second Russian official on Friday for war crimes. Here is a deeper look at the court, the warrant and what it may imply for Russian President Vladimir Putin. To begin, it is critical to comprehend the ICC's role. The court is an independent judging organization that collaborates closely within the United Nations. It has authority over four significant types of international crimes: genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes and aggression. The ICC must investigate and prosecute anyone accused of committing these crimes. The court can also issue arrest orders as in Putin's case. Why did the International Criminal Court issue the warrants? According to the court, Putin is personally liable for kidnapping and deportation of Ukrainian children since Russia's full-scale invasion began in February of last year. The court also issued an arrest warrant of Maria Lvova-Belova, Russia's Commissioner for Children's Rights, who has been the public face of a Kremlin-sponsored initiative that has brought Ukrainian children and teens to Russia. In a statement, the court stated, "There are reasonable reasons to assume that each defendant bears responsibility for the war crimes of unlawful expulsion of population and unlawful transfer of population from occupied territories of Ukraine to the Russian Federation." In October, the New York Times released an investigation that revealed numerous Ukrainian children who had been taken away as part of Russia's systematic relocation attempts. The youngsters experienced a harrowing experience and compulsion, fraud and an assault. Moscow has justified the shipments as humanitarian. Attorneys acquainted with the ICC's case recently stated that they expected prosecutors would pursue the arrest warrants due to a solid trail of public evidence. The court stated on Friday that it was aware that the activity addressed in the current scenario is reportedly continuous and that public awareness of the warrants may assist in the prevention of similar offences. What exactly is the International Criminal Court? By a 1998 treaty known as the Rome Statute, the International Criminal Court was established as a permanent entity to examine war crimes, genocide and crimes against humanity. Historically, the United Nations Security Council created ad hoc courts to investigate former Yugoslavia and Rwanda atrocities. The Hague, a Dutch city that has long been a hub for international law and justice, is the court's headquarters. Several democracies, including close US allies such as the United Kingdom, have joined the International Criminal Court. But the United States has long avoided the court, anticipating that it may attempt to indict American leaders one day, and Russia is likewise not a member. The Biden administration has been divided on whether to send evidence the US intelligence community acquired about Russian war crimes to the court. According to those involved with the internal discussions, most of the administration favors transferring the evidence. Still, the military has resisted because it does not want to create a precedent that may lead to future trials of Americans. What does Putin's arrest warrant imply? Human rights group hailed the warrant as an essential step towards ending impunity for Russian war crimes in Ukraine. However, the likelihood of a trial while Putin is still in power appears slim. The court cannot try defendants in absentia and Russia has stated that it will not hand over its officials. The orders were promptly denied by Russia's foreign ministry, which noted that Russia is not a party to the court. Yet, the demand for Putin's arrest worsens his isolation in the West and may limit his travel abroad. If he travels to a state party to the ICC, that government is required by international law to arrest him. This makes Putin a pariah, said Stephen Rapp, a former ambassador at large, who now heads the US State Department's Office of Global Criminal Justice. He risks arrest if he travels. This will never go away, and he added, Russia cannot be relieved of sanctions unless it obeys the warrants. Either Putin is tried at The Hague or he is further isolated and dies with his hanging over his head, Rapp added. So Putin might never be tried. The court lacks the authority to arrest or prosecute sitting heads of state and must rely on other leaders and countries to act as its sheriffs worldwide. A suspect who succeeds in eluding capture may never have their allegations confirmed. Nevertheless, a legal maneuver late last year complicated matters. The court prosecutor petitioned in November to proceed with the confirmation of war crimes and crimes against humanity allegations against Joseph Kony, the Ugandan militant and founder of the Lord's Resistance Army, even though he is not in prison and has been a fugitive for years. Kony, who turned stolen children into troops, is charged with murder, brutal treatment, enslavement, rape, and attacks on civilians. Khan's motion is essentially a trial balloon to see whether the court will accept the charges can be verified even if the defendant is not in custody. The decision is still being made. That's all for today in SG Times Explainer. Thanks for watching.